Ken Burns said the Vietnam War was a decade of agony.
Oftentimes, it wasn't about the flag, it wasn't about country, it was about the man who was next to you, and that you could not let him down.
My name is George Lipchey, and I served in the United States Navy.
My name is Steve Price. I served in the Air Force in Vietnam.
My name's Burke. Most people call me Butch. I was in the 46th Engineer Battalion, 18th Engineers.
I was in the Army, did get drafted, so went over as a private.
I too am a Vietnam veteran and proud to have served my country. One of the things we want to do with this event is to welcome home Vietnam veterans.
I think the majority of Vietnam veterans just miss being thanked for the fact that they served.
When I first came back, I had a little group and we passed out pins, not to support the war, but to support the soldiers. It's the governments that start wars, whether justified or not, but it's always the soldier, the individual, the little person that fights it.
I'd like to ask all the Vietnam veterans that are here tonight to please stand.
Each and every one of us, we have a story, and those stories need to be told. Because there's a whole generation out there, your kids, that need to know your story.
We came home and we went to D.C. I laid a refit to Too Many Unknown Soldier, and there were people there that were bashing the war, and we kind of got into a heated discussion. Anybody that bashes that wall got trouble out of a lot of true Vietnam veterans, you know, because a lot of people have friends on that wall. I have 2 out of my high school class that are on that wall.
He disappeared a month before I came home. I lived the life he did.
Some gave all, which means they just never returned. And some of us gave some.
Many veterans, would come up and said, you were our guy. I mean, you were one of us, and you made it, and you got recognized. And because you got recognized, we felt better about what we did, as a whole. And so it's kind of humbling in some respects to be able to, carry that feeling or mantle on your shoulders.
Whenever I put my Vietnam veterans cap on now, I get a lot of people shaking my hand and saying, thank you for your service.
I've had people buy me my dinners. They say, the waitress will come over and say to me, your check's taken care of. And I look at her, she goes, the person that took care of us doesn't want it to be known, but they said, thanks for serving. I mean, that hurts. It feels good, but it hurts. And, this is a great country.
Vietnam veterans come in terms with each other. Like I didn't even have to talk about the war. All they have to do is look in each other's eyes, and they know. They've been there.
I just thank you for letting me talk, and it feels good. I feel like $1 million right now. I'm just gonna go, when I leave here, go get me a nice cup of coffee and reflect on what this show had tonight.
I usually say I hope you enjoy watching the preview, but this time I hope there's some meaning to watching this film. Sometimes it's hard to watch, but it's important that we finally have this conversation, because this is the war we never talked about in America.
Hopefully it will be a film of healing, of understanding of why we were there, and we served our country, in which we can be proud of, but not to forget the 58,317 names that are on the wall. So thank you for having me.